How could she fight her wits so many times, and send her to a detention center for a few days? But that's fine. Elaine's character is the kind of master who doesn't suffer and doesn't know the evil in the world. After suffering a lot, her temper will naturally become more honest. Afterward, Charlie took out 2 small gift boxes, handed them to Elaine, and said, "Mom, here are 2 more gifts, which are also for you." "Ah, there is mine?" Elaine was excited to kneel down for Charlie. "Good guy. I don't want to say that I gave a Hermes bag, but there are other gifts. My son-in-law really looks more and more pleasing to the eye." So she hurriedly took 2 gift boxes from Charlie and opened them one by one. "Wow! Hermes scarf. It's so beautiful. It's cold now, so it can be wrapped around. This is a lot of money, right?" Charlie nodded. 20 to 30,000. "Oh. My son-in-law is so generous. Buy me such an expensive scarf. 20 to 30,000, you can buy a mink to wear." Afterwards, Elaine opened another gift box and exclaimed, "Oh. This is the classic Hermes belt for women. My son-in-law, Mom has loved this belt for several years, and has been reluctant to buy it. I didn't expect you to realize my dream for me." Jacob on the side looked a little bit sour, and couldn't help but ask, "Good son-in-law, didn't you bring any gifts for Dad?" Charlie smiled and said, "For you, I have prepared several things." Having said that, Charlie handed him 2 Hermes gift boxes. Jacob slapped his thigh happily, and said excitedly, "Oh, there really is me, really my good son-in-law." As soon as the voice fell, he rushed over and took the gift box from Charlie. "Open the first one. It is a men's belt with the head of the belt and the golden letter H, shining in the sun." Jacob clapped his hands happily. "Oh, this Hermes belt was popular all over the country back then." Charlie nodded and said with a smile, "This belt is now a standard for successful men." Jacob sighed and sighed. "Oh, I am also a successful person. We live in a Thompson first-class mansion, drive a BMW 5 Series sedan, wear Hermes trouser belt, and then we will string a large gold chain and get a gold watch. Live with the upper-class people with small gold watches and 3 small barbecues a day." Claire said helplessly, "Dad, which middle-aged and old people do you see who is still wearing a big gold chain to swagger through the market? Those are standard equipment for young people and social people." Jacob chuckled, "I just said that." After speaking, he winked at Charlie and said, "Good son-in-law, when can you give me a gold watch? I recently picked a Rolex Gold, and that watch looks impressive." Charlie suddenly thought, "Hey, before, Mei-Ching seemed to have given his father-in-law a Rolex Gold. It is worth 3 to 400,000, but the old master was afraid that Elaine would be jealous after seeing it, so he never dared to wear it. He is now mentioning Rolex Kindy again. It is estimated that 80% of him wants me to agree to his so-called request. In this way, he can just look back and wear the Rolex that Mei-Ching gave him. Even if Elaine sees it, he can tell Elaine that I bought him this watch." Thinking of this, Charlie couldn't help feeling in his heart, this old fox is not easy. In order to be able to put on the gifts from the first lover in a fair manner, he has to prepare so much in advance, so just help him. Therefore, Charlie said to Jacob straightforwardly, "Dad, don't worry, Rolex Gold, right? It's on me." As soon as Jacob heard this, he was immediately happy with nothing to add, and ran forward to hold Charlie's hand, and said with emotion, "Good son-in-law, you are the one who knows me." After finishing speaking, he kept winking at Charlie, his expression full of gratitude. Elaine on the side was unhappy, and said angrily, "Jacob, you old thing is really shameless, even you wear a Rolex for your unpromising appearance? Don't pit my son-in-law's money here." After speaking, Elaine hurriedly smiled to Charlie and said, "Good son-in-law, you don't think Mom has a decent watch until now. How about you turn around and give Mom a piece?" When Jacob received a Rolex from Mei-Ching and showed off with Charlie in the car, Claire was sitting in the back row. So she knew very well that Dad now asked Charlie to ask for a Rolex. In fact, it was a formality. The main reason was to find an opportunity to put the Rolex that Mei-Ching gave him on his hand. At this moment, although Claire felt a little uncomfortable, he could only turn one eye and close one eye when she thought of the past of her father and her mother, and the many wrongs he suffered over the years. But Claire didn't expect that her mother would come to join in the fun at this time, and wanted Charlie to buy her a Rolex too. She hurriedly said to Elaine, "Mom, all Rolexes are worn by men. They don't look good on you. If you really like watches, I'll give you a female Tissot." Elaine said disgustingly, "Don't even think about fooling me, the watch of that brand is very cheap. I bought it for a few thousand, and the low-end ones can't even cost 3,000. How can they be compared with Rolex? I don't want it." Charlie said smoothly, "Mom, I bought a lot of things from Eastcliff this time. If I buy a gold watch for you and Dad alone, it is estimated that our family's living standards will have to drop drastically. I happen to know a buddy who sells imitation watches. The imitation watches he sells are made the same as the real ones, there are no real fake ones, and they are cheap. How about I give you and Dad a whole fake watch first to make do?"